Hello, everyone. This is Kaizen Base. Today we will learn about outline of techniques related to work measurement.
The skills to accurately measure the current status are indispensable for promoting the improvement by making use of IE. This time we will learn about the outline of techniques related to work measurement.
So, let's get started with the lecture.
Well, Mio, this time we will learn about the techniques related to work measurement. Do you remember the two techniques in work measurement that have to be kept in mind?
Yes, I remembered. They are time study and operation analysis.
Yes, that's right. Now let's take a look at them. The first one is time study. Time study refers to the technique to analyze the problems by dividing work into elements, quantitatively measuring and evaluating the actual situation on a scale of time. The time given is equal to any company and to any person. The way to handle the given time is one of the most important factors in management. Time study is an essential method to make quantitative evaluation on unproductive factors in work with the utilization of work measurement and to correctly associate them with actions that should be eliminated or reduced as much as possible. Grasping the time correctly is the first step for improvement. Learning how to grasp time correctly so as not to take the first wrong step is the aim of time study as well.
Are there many types of time study?
The methods and perspectives of time study are as follows. The methods to measure the time of current state include stopwatch method and VTR method. They are the methods to observe work time and work method by using a stopwatch or video. Unlike the past, in the modern era when IT tools have developed, it has become easier to shoot video of work. In addition, let's keep in mind the perspective of standard time and rating as the methods to set the reference time. It is a concept for determining the standard time and speed based on the observed work time and work method. PTS method is a method for estimating the total time from the reference value. It is a technique for estimating the total work time based on the determination of the reference time for basic motion. There are various types of PTS method, such as MTM method, WF method and MODX method.
I see. Mr. Kai, could you tell a little more details about standard time, rating and PTS method?
Sure. So first, let's take a look of standard time. Standard time refers to the time required for an operator with a certain degree of proficiency to work at a standard speed under certain working conditions using certain methods and equipment.
Should standard time be based on people with high abilities?
No, standard time should always be based on standard speed. The standard time should be considered as speed that anyone can achieve by training. If there is no standard time, we won't know whether the work is proceeding as planned. Then, we won't know the problems about the current state, and we can't figure out which element of work should be trained. It is said there will be no improvement where there is no standard. We cannot tell whether it is good or bad without a standard, which should be considered as an important point of view.
I will keep firmly in mind that there will be no improvement where there is no standard.
Next, let's take a look of rating. Rating refers to the analysis for clarifying the problems hidden in the observed work by comparing the pace of the observed work and normal pace. Rating is also known as pace rating, or performance rating. As a major premise, the movements of people differ in the first place. Physical ability, proficiency and motivation, etc. are not the same for everyone. However, the plant will not run properly if the operators are working at their own pace.
So that's why the concept of rating is important, isn't it?
That's right. In other words, let's keep in mind that rating is an approach method to improve the ability of each person to reach the standard pace.
It is surprisingly easy to forget the perspective that there is a standard speed which we should strive to achieve. Actually, there have been many scenes where I was not sure about what speed should be aimed for. It stands to reason that it should be considered based on rating, doesn't it?
That's right. The perspective of rating is very important concept in Kaizen. Next is PTS method. PTS method refers to the method of decomposing the work performed by a person into basic motions, micromotion level, and calculating the time predetermined for the basic motion, based on which estimating the working time. PTS method is the abbreviation for predetermined time standards, which means the standard value for the predetermined time. There are MTM method, WF method and MODUPS method, etc., but basically the same concept is used for analysis. In the PTS method, it can be considered as each work is made up of the combination of certain basic motions. Even a seemingly complicated work can be considered as continuous basic motions from a detailed perspective. It is based on the idea that if you set the time for the basic motion, the time for the entire work can be calculated as well. The above is the outline of the time study.
Although they are all said to be measurement of time, there are various points of view.
Next, let's check operation analysis, the second technique related to work measurement. Operation analysis refers to the technique for clarifying how much time humans and machines spend on what kind of elements in production activities over a certain period of time. As a technique of time study, it is an effective tool for grasping the state of human movement, finding an entry point for improvement, and grasping the time series changes before and after improvement.
What scene will operation analysis be used for?
The first is when want to find an entry point for improvement. In production activities, only value work is the elements that creates value. All other elements are factors that hinder production and need to be eliminated or reduced. Operation analysis can be used to analyze the percentage of value-added work. It is effective when want to grasp the time series changes in the operating status. If there are seasonal fluctuations in the production load, it is necessary to grasp the changes occurred with the season, day and time period in the operating status. Operation analysis plays a certain role in analyzing variable factors and determining measures to maintain a more stable operating rate.
What are the typical techniques of operation analysis?
There are three typical techniques used. The first is continuous observation method. It is a method of continuously observing work by on-site observation or video, and accurate measurement can be performed, but it takes time and effort. The second is work sampling method. It is a method to determine the timing of observation according to certain rules and grasping the operating status at the moment of observation by sampling. Although the accuracy is slightly lower, it can be carried out relatively easily. The third is self-time study method. It is a method to clarify the overall picture of human operation by writing down the daily performance of one's duties in a predetermined record sheet and totaling for a certain period of time. It is a method that is somewhere between the continuous observation method and the work sampling method. The above is the outline of the operation analysis. Do you now have a general understanding?
I have a general understanding about them somehow, but I still find it a little bit difficult.
Well, you may find it a little bit difficult at first, but it may be not that difficult when you actually make use of them. Let's try another time while checking the details.
Now, we make a summary of today's lecture. The techniques related to work measurement include time study and operation analysis. Time study refers to the technique to analyze the problems by dividing work into elements, quantitatively measuring and evaluating the actual situation on a scale of time. The points are standard time, rating, and the perspective of PTS method. Operation analysis refers to the technique for clarifying how much time humans and machines spend on what kind of elements in production activities over a certain period of time. The typical methods are continuous observation method, work sampling method, and self-time study method. That's all about today's lecture. So, see you at the next theme.